I feel like not enough people have experienced Wonderful 101. I'm sure a lot of folks have heard of it. I mean, Platinum Games is a well-respected game company, most of the time. But Wonderful 101 is like a fun fact, Platinum's obscure Wii U title. And I feel like that's a disservice to both the game and its potential players. When I first played Wonderful 101, I was blown away by how it made me feel. I literally had trouble sleeping because I just kept thinking about what I wanted to say, and even now that I've written it down, I still don't think I can do it justice. I know that makes it sound like the greatest game ever, and I have to admit that it's not. It's a really linear game, and it takes about 17 hours to beat, and I know for a lot of people, that's too short. But I went through a massive range of emotions in that time, and because of that, I felt a drive and excitement to play every day. It's rare that a game makes me feel that way anymore. When Wonderful 101 started, I thought the premise of characters that basically amounted to Power Rangers was really cool. And it is! There's no real Power Rangers games out there. There's the Battle for the Grid game, but that's a fighting game. We don't have many Power Rangers adventure games. And this was all before I ever learned that Hideki Kamiya is a huge tokusatsu buff, and that was the whole point. The whole point is that Wonderful 101 is a game that represents Super Sentai, a team of colorful heroes coming together to fight the world. But that in and of itself is so awesome to me. Kamiya expressed his ideas so clearly that someone without any knowledge of his interests picked up on the game's inspirations. And I wouldn't say the game was anything groundbreaking, but the gameplay is really fun and the story is surprisingly engaging. And let me tell you, as the story progresses, it's impossible not to fall in love with it, at least for me. I'm gonna get into spoilers. I'm not gonna apologize, it's a pretty old game, and honestly, it's unpopular enough that I don't think anyone really cares if I spoil it, and I want to talk about it. First of all, the characters. Every single character has so much love put into them, and I don't just mean the main ones. Though obviously they have the most, we get individual cutscenes for all of them, we get to learn a lot about them right in the story. But even the less important wonderful ones that just get a little cut in have a bunch of character jammed into them. We get files about each of them and we get to learn and see what they're all about. Yeah, you have to go out of your way to do it, but it's worth it, especially if you care for the game. And even if you don't read the file, when you first acquire a wonderful one, you get a little readout of them and you see them in a special pose. And just from that, you can tell if a character is serious, goofy, heroic, or stoic. It pushes home the idea that I've believed in for many years. Anyone can be a hero. And off the bat, the game really sells that. Our titular hero, Wonder Red, is a teacher. And then there's people like Wonder Beetle, who's a student, or Wonder Guitar, who's a waiter, or even Wonder Astronaut, who's a monkey. And it would be criminal not to mention Wonder Santa. He's not a mall Santa. It's actually Santa Claus, joining the Wonderful 101 to help save the planet and galaxy. And even though we don't see it in the game, I refuse to believe Santa didn't use his magic and reindeers and elves to assist the Wonderful 101. That would be absolutely insane. My point is, the game really drives home the idea that no matter how small or powerless you feel, no matter who you are or who you want to be, you can be a hero. And if you can't do it alone, there will always be people who have your back. They will be your sword and your shield, or your giant fist, or a gun, or a tank, or just you, but bigger. You just have to be willing to fight. Honestly, All Might could have learned his whole shtick from them, and I wouldn't be surprised. Beyond the characters, there's also what I think is just a really fun story. It goes from what amounts to a Monster of the Week adventure to an epic about saving the world. It's both hilarious and serious and effortlessly weaves between the two. 1 second could be a joke and the next could be a battle to the death. Even when there's exposition, there's visual comedy happening to keep your attention. Characters spout one-liners next to serious monologues. And back when I first played it, it didn't feel anywhere near as tired as it is now thanks to certain movies. Wonderful 101 is super cheesy, and it owns it, and that made it all the more worthwhile. It feels organic. It wasn't out of place for a fight against a weak creature to suddenly turn into a fight for saving the universe. The story molded itself to be more epic with every new challenge and level. 1 second you're minuscule and traveling through someone's body to save them, and next you're in planet-sized mechs fighting to save the universe. Whenever a new daunting foe is presented, the game doesn't just say, use what you know, it says, here's an even bigger robot so you're on equal footing. I know I said that twice, it's that cool. I'd say it 100. No, I'd say it 101 more times. And once the story equips you with the new stuff, then it throws you at the enemy. Or rather, it throws the enemy at you. Though you do always have the option to literally throw your friends at the enemy. And you're so invested in the story that even when you're completely out of your depth and don't know what's happening, you still try because you're fighting for the future of the world. Wonderful 101 reminds you that every action someone takes to do good always has the chance to find opposition, and you have to be willing to keep pushing to overcome it no matter how scary and unknown the next battle is. And while sometimes you may have to go it alone, having allies will always help. Friends at your side are a far greater weapon to face adversity than anything else. especially when they turn into a giant fist. Or, you know, a bridge to get you across a gap, or a ladder to help you climb a building. I don't know how many people's real friends can do that, but you can do it in Wonderful 101, and I think that's pretty sweet. And who knows, maybe you and your friends can all get in a giant robot and have a giant ship gun. It's wild, and I don't think any other game would do it, but because Wonderful 101 does, it is one of the few games where I still remember the final attack that happens. And no other game's final attack will ever match up to the bombastic
Final, ultimate, legendary, Earth power, supermax, justice, future, miracle, dream, beautiful, galaxy, big bang, little bang, sunrise, starlight, infinite, fabulous, totally final, wonderful arrow! Red?
I feel like anyone with a PC, Switch, or somehow a Wii U owes themselves to play Wonderful 101. It's not groundbreaking, it's effectively average, but that's the whole point. It can be average and still make you laugh and smile for a whole hour till your jaw hurts, but you smile through the pain. It can make you cry while delivering incredibly cheesy one-liners and story beats you see coming from a mile away. Wonderful 101 isn't perfect. I can admit it's not for everyone, but beyond all else, and what really matters the most, it's wonderful. I want a quick thank you for watching another video. As per usual, there's no natural way to ask you to like, comment, and subscribe, but feel free to if you're so inclined. Take care of yourselves, and remember to drink your juice boxes.